Hey everybody, this is Dream, and we have a nice little 12-game slate for the NFL Week 2, the main slate on on DraftKings. Sorry. So I'm just gonna go through each team and each position rather, and give you my top picks at these positions. So before I get started, please consider subscribing by hitting the bell to the right, and also liking this video. That would really help. I really appreciate it. With that said, let's go get into the players themselves. So at quarterback, my favorite top option is Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. Obviously, he had a really good week one where he threw 3 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception, but didn't hurt his total points too much. He ended up with 21, and I think he's in a good spot to repeat that. The next guy I like here is Kyler Murray against Las Vegas, who he should be able to do really good against. Las Vegas is a team that also likes to throw the ball, so it should be an advantage for both teams from that perspective. With saying that, Derek Carr is my next guy. He looks pretty good this week, despite the interceptions last week. He's in a nice little matchup here, and I think that with his receiving core, he's going to be able to continue to get lots of yards and touchdown opportunities. Then I have Matt Stafford for the Rams. Now, he didn't have a great first week, but he's still going to be throwing the ball a lot. And if he can cut down the interceptions, he should have a good week here against Atlanta. And then Trey Lance is a cheaper option that I like for San Francisco. Obviously, his first week he did okay. Didn't throw a touchdown, but he should still have some good opportunities in this particular game against Seattle. And then finally, Russell Wilson for the Denver Broncos. Excuse me. Don't know why I almost said Nuggets. Even though he didn't play all that well in Week 1, and the Broncos lost, I still think his upside is much higher than what he can do. And so I think this is a great matchup for him against Houston, and he'll take advantage and score a decent chunk of fantasy points. At running back, my top option is Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. Obviously, he had a good week 1, and I suspect he's going to continue that against Jacksonville. Now, Jacksonville is a little bit tougher defensively, but especially against the run, but he should be okay in that matchup. He should be matchup proof. Christian McCaffrey against the Giants just seems really juicy. Obviously, he got a touchdown, but didn't get the yards last week, but I think he'll have a better opportunity this week to do that. As far as other guys, Saquon Barkley, excuse me, where is he? What price is he? 73. Here he is. He's in a great spot. He had a great first week. Yeah, he's even getting some reception passes because they don't have a whole lot of wide receivers. Giants are really going to have to go to him a ton this season to compete in a lot of these games. And going up against the Panthers is definitely an advantage for him. Then we have Joe Mixon against Dallas. And Dallas is just, they're missing so many pieces that and a good running back like him is going to try to take advantage of that. And Cincinnati is very balanced, so he should be able to get a lot of opportunities. Then we look at DeAndre Swift, who is questionable, so just be aware. But if he does play, he's got really high upside. I hope he doesn't. I hope he does play because he's somebody I really want to roster this particular week. And then James Conner for Arizona. As we're getting cheaper here, he's got a little bit less, consistency here, but overall in this particular game, there's going to be a lot of reception opportunities for him and chances to get touchdowns. And then Leonard Fournette is somebody I really like. Obviously, he's questionable as well, but I do think he's likely to play. And if he does play, then he's somebody that you got to lock in because obviously they go to him quite a bit on the ground to help offset Brady. And so then we finally have 2 more guys. Sorry, Darrell Henderson. Let's see here. For the Rams, I think he's a good kind of a secondary play that to save money. He had a pretty decent 13 rushes first week, and he should be able to get more in this particular game and have a good option for a touchdown. Then we have Antonio. Where is he? Antonio Gibson, excuse me, for Washington against Detroit, one of the worst defenses. I think I like him in this matchup, 14 for 58 in his first game. He should have some more opportunity in this game against Detroit and have some touchdown potential as well. At wide receiver, we have quite a few good options here. First, for some of the expensive guys, Cooper Kupp, obviously top guy for the Rams. He didn't have a great week 1, but from the total reception, well, no, I wrote that for the second guy. Sorry. He had 13 receptions, 120 yards and a touchdown first week 1. He's a great spot again. I think he's going to be one of the highest scoring guys on the slate, and he's going to get targeted a lot. They need him to score a lot of points for them to be successful. Then Devontae Adams for Las Vegas. He also had a really great week 1. I figured he was going to do well with Derek Carr, and now his price is definitely reflecting that. Then we have Jamar Chase for Cincinnati. He went 10 for 16 with a touchdown. 10 receptions, 129 yards, and a touchdown. I think he's in a great spot against the Dallas Cowboys, who are not very good this year. So then we're going to get down to Deebo Samuel. Now he's in a pretty good spot here. Now he didn't have a great week 1, but he still has touchdown potential, and he actually ended up getting a rushing touchdown. But he'll probably get more targets this week than he did last week because they're going to need him to do well for them to have a shot against Seattle, and so I really like him. And then let's see here, we got Tyreek Hill from Miami, who actually had a pretty decent week aside from not getting a touchdown in his first game here. And I expect that he's going to continue to get lots of targets, especially with Waddle only getting 3 or 4. I think he had 5 maybe. So then we have Mike Evans. He's questionable as well, but he should have. I think he's probably going to be playing. Same with his teammate Julio Jones. So hopefully both of those guys are going to be playing, and if he does play, he's going to be a top option for Brady, and you can score a lot of points when you have top options with Tom Brady, so I like him, and his price isn't as bad as his potential production. Michael Pittman is also questionable. I do think he's going to probably play as well, and he looks like he's in a great spot here against Jacksonville to potentially get some points with a better quarterback and Matt Ryan. Then we have Amon-Ra St. Brown for Detroit against Washington. It's going to be a little bit tougher, but I still think he's in a good spot. And there's just not a lot of people to throw the ball to there in Detroit, but he is one of them, and I think he's probably the best one. Then we have Marquise Brown for Arizona. I like the passing options in this game simply because both quarterbacks are going to have to throw the ball a lot, and I think it's going to be rather high scoring. And so he didn't have the biggest game, but he did get a touchdown in week 1. I think he's going to get more targets in this particular game. And then let's see here. We got Braden Cooks for Houston. I do think that he's a top option, actually, because he's going to get the targets, and he's just got to get the catches to go along with them. He's got plenty of options. He's one of the best players on their team, so he's going to have plenty of options, and hopefully he can, take advantage this week. Then we have T. Higgins, who it looks like he might not play this week because of a concussion, so we do have to be careful with him. But if he does play, he's going to be somebody that's worth taking a look at his minimum price. And then next we have Kirk for Jacksonville. He had a really good first week. He's getting a lot of targets, and I suspect he's going to continue to get those. And so Trevor Lawrence seems to really like him, so I think he's a great spot in this particular matchup. And then finally, Jalen Waddle. Now, he's kind of like a Hail Mary option because he didn't really get a ton of targets last week, but he still has touchdown potential, and he has some, he's got some speed and stuff. So I really like him in this particular matchup. Just have to be aware that it's not always the most ideal when you're not getting that many targets as a second guy. And then one Hail Mary who is now going to be the, he might not be playing after all. Never mind, he's not playing. He was called up as the starting wide receiver, but now he's not, so okay. Anyhow, that changed since I wrote this stuff up. Anyhow, at tight end, we have Mark Andrews as the top guy, obviously. He should get some more receptions this week against Miami. He's got a little bit tougher matchup, but I think that he's in a good spot where he's the safety valve for Jackson if he doesn't run. So I think he's in a great place. Darren Waller for the Las Vegas. I really like him this week. He had 4 for 79 yards in week 1. I think he's going to get a touchdown this week, and so he makes him a top tier play. Then we have Kyle Pitts at Atlanta. Now he didn't have a great week, but I think that he's going to have some opportunities in this game, as it's going to be a little bit easier defensively for him to get open and stuff like that. And then T.J. Hawkinson for Detroit. It is a tough matchup for him, but I still think he's going to get the targets, which are going to have a touchdown potential. And then Albert, where are you at? Oh, look, I don't know how to say your last name. He was a good target for Wilson in week 1. He didn't really get the yards, but he had some opportunities. If he had just broken a couple tackles here and there, he would have opportunity. But he did lead the Broncos in tight end catches. So I think that he's going to have another chance to have a really good game here. And then finally, Dalton Schultz. Let's see, SCH. For Dallas. I mean, their backup quarterback is going to have somebody that he can dump the ball to. And he seems like he's going to be the guy. He had 62 yards first week. If they can score a touchdown, then he's going to be somebody to take a look at. For defenses, we have 5 teams to take a look at. The first will be the Browns against against the Jets. The Jets are terrible. The Browns have a pretty decent defense and should have an opportunity to score some points here. Then I have the Buccaneers against New Orleans, and I don't know that New Orleans is going to be able to score a ton of points, so I think that this is going to be a good spot for a Buccaneers decision. And then Bengals against, where are they at? One of the cheaper teams available against Dallas. Dallas just doesn't have much. You look for some interception potential and sacks and stuff like that in this game. And then 49ers, who's probably one of the best defenses on the slate, has a little bit of a tough matchup against Seattle, but Seattle has nothing good when it comes to quarterback. And so I look for them to have a really solid chance to just get a lot of sacks, get a lot of interception opportunities, stuff like that. And then the Broncos, finally, against Houston. The Broncos showed some upside against Seattle. Obviously didn't have the best game, but I think it's going to be an easier play here against Houston, who's a weaker team overall. So I think we have a pretty good slate. If you have any comments or questions, or if there's any players that you think that I left out, feel free to leave them below. If you have any comments or questions about any of the players, feel free to leave those below. Thank you again for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and have a nice day, guys.